Hi, I'm Debbie with Lively Root. Put your plant on a diet. That's right. They need nutrition too. Adding the right amount to the big three, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, along with other micronutrients, can take your plant from sad to happy, happy, happy. Since your plants are not outdoors soaking up the nutrients in the earth, and the earthworms are not leaving their rich castings that fertilize, we've got to give our little help to our plant friends when they're in their containers. Let's first talk about those numbers and what they mean on the fertilizer bottle or bag. The numbers are a set of three. They stand for the big three, as I said before: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. To distinguish what each one does for your plant, I think of the little saying, up, down, all around. The first number is nitrogen, and that's what I call the up part of the plant. The nitrogen majors on the leaf growth. So if you have a leafy plant like a fiddle leaf fig or an alocasia plant, your nitrogen number may have a higher number if you get specialized fertilizers, especially for those plants. Nitrogen is what keeps your plant overall healthy. It enables the plant to synthesize the sunlight by which photosynthesis occurs to make food for the plant. An example of this is when the grass turns greener after a spring thunderstorm. Nitrogen is part of the chlorophyll molecule, so it stands to reason your plants will be healthier with it. The next one is phosphorus. This is the down part of the saying, or better known as the roots of the plant. The roots are going to carry water and nutrients to the soil, to your plant. And healthy roots stabilize the plant and also help fight diseases. Phosphorus also helps seeds and fruit. So if you're growing an edible fruit, you need more phosphorus in the fertilizer formula. The next one is potassium, and it helps develop the flowers and the fruits, which is insinuating by the all-around part of the plant. It also helps resist pests, uses water better, and fights off disease. Symptoms of potassium deficiency would appear in the lower part of the plant. The leaves might turn yellow at the margins or the edges. The symptom could also be from overfeeding too. I recommend taking notes when you fertilize and with what and how much, and keep it on your digital calendar. When is the best time to fertilize my indoor plants? Well, outdoor plants begin to wake up, so to speak, in the spring when daylight hours are longer and the soil starts to warm up. That goes for indoor plants as well. Your plants can feel the changes from the light changes inside your house if you have natural light. So from late March to early April, it's safe to start fertilizing your indoor plants through September. For most indoor plants, you can put them on a monthly rotation to fertilize. Plants with synthetic soils or soil mix need to be fertilized at half strength. Mix up like a 1/4 to a half a teaspoon of our Foliage Pro in a gallon of water and stir it well. Use it just like you're watering your plants. Apply it until the water is dripping out of the drainage holes of your planter. Let completely drain, then place it back into your decorator pots if you're keeping them in a grower pot. Foliar feeding is also an option for your plants. Typically, you would want to dilute your fertilizer more for foliar applications than you would for the soil to avoid burning the leaves. So test a spot on one of the leaves before applying it to the whole plant and wait a week to see the results. You can apply our Foliage Pro every 2 to 4 weeks and follow the label's directions for either soil application or foliar spraying. Mix it in a gallon-sized container, then pour some into a spray bottle and apply. Spray your plants in the early morning so the air can dry the leaves during the day to prevent mold or fungus. If the leaves stay wet too long, it can lead to a fungus issue. This goes for outside plants as well, so spray feeding would be a supplement to the fertilizers you already are applying to the soil. As long as there isn't snow on the ground, Your outdoor plants are breaking dormancy, and you can fertilize in the spring. Let's say when you start seeing buds on the trees and shrubs, you can fertilize outside too. I recommend using John & Bob's Optimize Plus organic fertilizer. That's a soil conditioner. If your soil is in poor health or has been tilled a lot or stripped of nutrients, this is what you need. It has beneficial microbes and adds organic calcium and iron that will help balance the soil's pH. If you have hard or clay soil, this is an excellent conditioner. It releases each time the plant is watered. This soil conditioner will increase the fertility and vitality of your plants. And 1 cup will treat 180 square feet, so it is very concentrated. You can apply 6 tablespoons to a small plant or shrub you're planting outdoors. Apply this any time of year between the spring and the fall. To apply fertilizer and conditioners, scratch the surface around the plant's drip line to hit the root area. The drip line is the horticulture term that means the spot where the rain would drip off the plant, or the widest part that the limbs reach around the plant. Now you'll want to read the instructions carefully to apply the right amount for your plant. Evenly spread the fertilizer and conditioner around the drip line circumference. Then cover up the ingredients with the soil you scratched and water it in with a light shower, setting on your nozzle to let it evenly soak in. You don't want to spray the hard water to hurry up this process, or you can waste your fertilizer and amendments by washing it away too fast before it soaks in. You also don't want to splash potential fungus or bacteria up on the leaves of your plant either with a hard and fast method of spraying. Just take it slow and steady, and don't be in a hurry when you're gardening. Pour yourself a glass of sweet tea or take a glass of wine out. I like to add amendments and fertilize about the same time that I'm applying mulch in the spring. How do you know if you're overfeeding or underfeeding your plants? Too much fertilizer can cause leaf edges to turn brown if the growing conditions are good in every other way. It can also cause the lower leaves to drop when you're planting prematurely. Now, this is a natural occurrence occasionally, but if you have a new plant and all of a sudden you see leaf drop, check how much fertilizer you're giving it. If you discover it's reacting to too much fertilizer, you can flush your plant with water by giving it an excessive drink and let it drain thoroughly. Water it, then water again to wash out the salts. If that isn't enough, you might want to repot it in fresh soil to help it recover. Underfeeding your plants will produce pale leaves, fewer or no flowers at all. If your plants are on a monthly diet, then set your calendar on your phone to remind you to fertilize. So when the days start getting shorter, the plant is going to go into dormancy. This means they're going to have a resting period where they don't grow as much. Shorter days and cooler temperatures induce dormancy. Typically during this time, they have an absence of new growth, and you may have some yellowing of leaves that fall off. If you do, make sure you're not over watering it at this point. While they're resting, they're not getting as much light as usual, hence the need for water reduction too. Remember always to use your 3-in-1 meter to check moisture levels before adding water. And here's another note. Tuberous and bulbous plants like your caladiums and amaryllis will die back to the ground while they rest, just like the daffodils and tulips. Now you better understand what the NPK means and a little saying to remind you: up, down, and all around. Plus, you know when and how to fertilize your plant babies. Now please do one more thing for yourself. Keep a record on the first day you start fertilizing in the spring and record how tall and wide your plant is, and then measure in September when you start fertilizing and see how much it's grown. This will be fun to see the difference from year to year for each plant. Let us know how much your plants have grown in one season. Until the next video, have a lively day.